Ladies and gentlemen, all the valued participants, it's a very great pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar on using Caseware technology to draft your financial statements. We are going to look into content management for today's Get Ahead course. In today's fast-paced business environment, the demand for accurate, efficient, and compliant financial reporting has never been higher. As accounting and financial professionals, we understand the challenges of preparing financial statements that meet your regulatory requirements while also providing valuable insights for decision making. This webinar aims to explore how Caseware, your leading provider of financial reporting software, can streamline your process of financial statements preparation. Throughout the webinar, we will go through how to switch on notes, how to make sure your financial statements look like the request from your different clients. I encourage you to actively participate in today's webinars. Ask your questions. You guys will be muted, but once again, please use the chat function. Once again, guys, welcome to today's webinar on using Caseware working paper to draft your financial statement. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I wish you all an informative and productive session ahead. As mentioned, in today's session, we will look into how to switch on notes, how to use your drill down options, the notes formatting, inserting notes and tables, and text sections, and we will go through the Q&A. Hello, Ashley. I've seen your message. You're currently having an internet issue. Yeah, please do log back in, and 100% we will share the recording with you afterwards. A quick reminder, all the users or the attendees in the room are currently muted, but please use our chat function to ask any questions or to participate actively in this session. If you lose your signal, internet signal, you can always exit and enter back the webinar, or you could use the app rather than the browser. I have also inserted in the handouts part of this go-to session this presentation. Please make sure that you download it and you can then use it to follow this training session. So we would really like to hear your voice today. Let's do a quick poll. I'm going to launch it just now. We want to hear, have you used your Caseware for automating financial reporting before? Yes, extensively. Yes, but only a little. No, but you're currently familiar with it. Or not at all. You're not at all familiar with how to use Caseware for automating your financial reporting. So I'm going to give you a bit of 1 minute to fill that in. And this will also help me to make sure that the content that I'm sharing with you is meaningful and helping the pace of this webinar. A few more seconds. All right, so I see most of you in the room are not at all familiar with how to automate your financial reporting. So I'm going to go a little bit slower than I have planned. Yeah, so we are going to build on what you've learned since day one of this series. Today, we're going to open the financials and I'll show you the automation. All right, thank you all for your participation. Now, let me launch another poll. So now we would like to understand, for those who have been able to use your Caseware, how easy is it to use Caseware to automate your financial reporting? So in the room, we've seen some does have the experience. So, and if ever you don't have the experience yet, you can give the appropriate answer. Oh, that's interesting. 30 more seconds. Yeah, the results are actually aligned with those who don't know yet how to use Caseware. That's 100%. And we've seen that most of you have a neutral opinion around the ease to use your Caseware for automating financial reporting. And we also have some of you who find it a little bit difficult. Hey, for those of you who find it difficult or very difficult, please use the chat function, voice out what's difficult for you, and we'll make sure either in this session we can answer you, or I will make sure that somebody connects with you, whether it is a consulting or supporting member, and we can make things easier for you. Wow, amazing. Thank you all for this participation. I've got two more polls actually for this morning. Let's launch that one. The other poll is, what challenges, if any, have you faced while using Caseware for automating your financial reporting? Is it none, actually? You don't have any challenges that you've faced? Or maybe the training and the support, the complexity of the software, or other? Unfortunately, here we can't type the other more information around the challenges that you've got, but if you want, you can insert in the chat box as well. So whilst you guys are filling in the poll, I'm going to leave it open for 30 more seconds. Hello, Karan. I've seen your question. I will share with you the trial balances and every stuff that we're using in the webinars. So after this session, I'll make sure that we send you an email with all the relevant details. All right, thank you everybody for answering that poll. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, the leader here is complexity of the software and training. So we'll make sure that today and in the next training sessions that we do address that. But once again, use these sessions to ask your questions. And if I can, during the training itself, I'm going to answer you. Right. One last poll. Thank you, everybody. The last one is something I really want to hear from you. Would you recommend Caseware to others for automating your financial reporting? Yes, strongly recommend. Yes, you would recommend. No, or strongly not recommend. We appreciate your vote. And yeah, just giving you 30 more seconds to fill in. I'm excited with the answers. 20 more seconds for the answers. Hello, Nzuluwazi. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly. You're struggling to get the templates from your community page. Alrighty, I'll make sure that we will connect with you in the, so it will be after this session, or if one of my colleagues is in the session, we'll make sure that we connect with you and share with you all the login details. All right, I'm going to close the poll now. I'm really so excited with the answers. You strongly recommend Caseware, and I thank you for that. And for those, oh, that person who doesn't recommend Caseware at the moment, I'm hoping to change this, and we will definitely make sure that we address, you know, anything that you want us to address, if that can make you change your mind. Let's start with the financial statements. And before I jump into that first slide, which is switching on the notes, a quick reminder of how to open your Caseware working paper. I'm going to jump off of this slide to show you my desktop. I'd like us to open Caseware working paper and to open the file that we've created for financial reporting. So remember, if you should follow my cursor, top left of my screen, we have the clock-like icon, that's Caseware working paper technology. You're going to double click to open your software. Then what I've done on my side, if you should follow my cursor, top middle of the screen, I have pinned my financial statement. I've pinned my file because that's the one I'm using for financial reporting. That's the one I'm currently using. So when you're using your different engagement files, the files that you use most often, you can also pin it. It will appear on the top of your screen. I'm going to double click over the name of Rapid Manufacturing Limited to open it. Thompson, you are you're breaking. Yes, I believe it's your network. If you can log off and come back in, I'm sure it should be fine. Hello, Chris. Thank you for your question. Yes, please elaborate on your answers. You can use the chat box and we'll love to hear your voice, and we really want to make you a raving fan of Caseware. Oops, sorry guys, I've opened my Audi International file. Let me quickly go back to the Caseware working paper file. Sorry for that. That's my financial reporting file. If you're using the full IFRS template, please open your wrap-up manufacturing. Same if you're using IFRS for SME. What I'm going to explain now will apply. My file is open. We are now going to locate your financial statements. This will be in the folder Financial Statements. You can expand that folder, Financial Statement Preparation, and the document 0110, that's our financial statements. Double click to open the case view document. And we're going to follow from there up to switch on the different modes, manage your different contents. So we highly recommend you to give it a minute to load your case view, your financial statements. What's happening in the background is it's fetching all the new account numbers that you've mapped, if any journal entry that you've processed, if any, making sure that your formatting is consistent across your file, thusly executing script process. While we wait for it to load, it's currently going to pull in a few seconds. I'm now going to present my screen, my PowerPoint again, and we can go slowly into the different options that you have for content management. The rule number one, when you want to switch on a node which is not switched on, that is a node that appears as n hash and in blue. So I'm just going to show you what I mean by that. If I go to my financial statements, I'd like to go to a node to show you what's a node which is not switched on. So let me go to investment property. I'm simply going to right click over the N hash for investment property from my balance sheet. I'm going to jump to the nodes. You can follow on my screen and then you can do it on your side. But now I'm just explaining what do I mean by a node not switched on. The node currently on the screen, investment property, is appearing in blue, meaning it will not print and it's not yet switched on. The rule number one, before switching on a node, is to make sure that you are on editing enabled mode, meaning that if I go to the document menu on the freeze, I should be on the editing enabled. Remember last time in the previous session, we've seen what's reviewing enabled. It's like a print preview, but more advanced. What we want is to stand on editing enabled. Then we are going to quickly jump to the node and right click on the N hash. That one I've already said to jump to the node, and then switch on the node by right clicking on the node and select the on button. So if we, for example, go to current tax payable, let's follow that example and make sure that you can do that on your side as well. So if I go back to balance sheet for instance, let's locate our current tax payable. So mine is already switched on your side. Let's see if it's switched on. You can right click and jump to the node. I'm going to switch it off just for that example. Once you get to your current tax payable, you've jumped to the node, right click over it and turn it on. Select the on option. When you select the on button, what will happen? Your node is going to appear, the node title will appear in black, meaning that it will print, and more contents are going to print appearing in black as well. I just want to test in the room whether you've been able to jump to the node and switch on, because remember, based on the poll, most of you don't actually have an idea of how to use financial statements in Caseware. So by raise of hand in the room, do let me know if you have been able to switch on your current tax payable. You can use the hand raised option on GoTo. Oh, thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Nature. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Anton. Janelle, Jason, Marinda. Thank you, everybody. For those who are not raising the hand, either you were successful, that's 100%, or if you're having any difficulties, please use the chat box. We really want to make this session interactive, and also that you're successful. Once you leave that session, you know how to switch on notes, how to manipulate, how to edit your financial statement. All right, thank you, everybody. Let's move now. I'm just conscious of time. We're going to have 10 minutes break every hour. So let's move to the next part of this session. You now know how to switch on the note. Now, you're going to switch on a note if applicable for your client, right? Or for your file if you're drafting for your own firm. Now, what you might want to do once you switch on the note is to understand further what is behind that line, what has been mapped on that line item. So from a note, for example, you can easily drill down to the trial balance. You will first place your cursor on the amount. On my screen, I've placed my cursor on current tax payable, the normal tax line, 1.6 million. Right-click over that line. Then select the first option, which is the trial balance. Drill down. What you'll see on the screen will be a drill down or a portion of your trial balance that you've mapped. You'll see the account number, the name of the account number that you've mapped, and the transactions and the amount. So this helps you understand, okay, so for that line item, we have mapped taxation payable, VAT or tax provision account. If there is an account number that is not correct at this point in time, you can change the map number by clicking on, there's a drop down here, by clicking on that drop down. Or alternatively, apply what we've learned since day one. You go to Caseware working paper, account, assign mappings, and you can remap if there is a need to remap. So let's do that together. Let's take 2 minutes. I'm going to switch back to my financial statements. Right-click over that 1.6 million because we want to see what has been mapped under that line item. Select trial balance, drill down, and that's how you will see all the accounts that you've mapped to your normal tax line. Okay. So if you scroll to the right, for instance, you will see the amount 1.6 million under the transactions column. If you have any journal entries that you've processed, that will appear under adjustments. Your final column will be your transactions plus or minus your adjustments. It's going to give you your final, and these are your prior periods, what you have, the different amounts or balances for the prior periods. You can now close that drill down by using the close button top right of the screen, and you'll get back to your financial statements, to the note itself. Now let me jump back to my presentation. That was the drill down. Guys, please note that you can drill down on the different line items on your financial statements. You simply place your cursor on the amount that you want to learn more from. You can also drill down from the main statements. So now if we stand on our statement of financial position, select, for instance, here the current tax receivable under current assets, you can also drill down. In this option, you can drill down the lead sheet as well, not only the trial balance, but also the lead sheet. If, for example, you have been putting some references on your lead sheet, if you have put some comments, your manager has included some comments, you can then preview that particular comment. Let's perform that as well. So I'm going to jump back to the financial statements. So what we are trying to do is show you the different ways to perform the drill down. And by moving to one section to the other, that we are hoping to give you confidence that you can easily move to the different sections of your financial statements by using some shortcuts. For example, here, I want to jump easily to my statement of financial position. So I'm going to click on BS and jump to my statement of financial position. And if you scroll down a bit, we're going to go to the current asset area, locate your current tax receivable. So here you'll see your lead sheet number, which is 495. You can either select to view the lead sheet. So any annotations will be available if you had any. Or I'm going to close that window, right click once again. You've got the trial balance drill down, which we've already seen. But what we want to see is the lead sheet. So it's the same view, like clicking on the 495 link on your BS. Once again, why would you do that? Is to understand what has been mapped for that particular line item. So we've got a very nice question from Jason. Thank you for your question, Jason. The question is, does the trial balance drill down only work for the notes to the financial statements, or can you use it on income statement or statement of cash flow? That's a very, very nice question, Jason, and thank you for that. As you have seen, you can use it on your balance sheet. If, for example, we jump to income statement, and let's right click over the revenue and let's learn together whether we can perform a drill down, a trial balance drill down. It works as well. So by selecting the amount, simply right click and locate your drill down option. For your cash flow, what will happen will be on the cash flow worksheet, you can drill down further. On the updated version on 2023 financial statement template, the drill down works on the cash flow worksheet. However, let's say, for example, if I go to depreciation, I right click and select trial balance drill down here. This will list for you your whole trial balance as you've seen here. But what we want to do for the drill down is to go to the cash flow working, and then you can drill down. So Jason, please bear with us. We have a full session on cash flow coming in April. So we will definitely show you that as well. But let me try to quickly open my cash flow worksheet and spare 30 seconds to show you the drill down options. So here we go, that's my cash flow worksheet. So for example, if I'd like to drill down my deferred tax asset, right-click drill down, and I will see the different movements for the deferred tax. You're welcome, Jason. Thank you for your question. I really appreciate. All right. That's about drilling down and the importance of using drill down to understand whether you've mapped something correctly or incorrectly, and also to understand your figures. Now, moving to a section which is extremely important and which we usually, or myself, you know, I have support cases, very, it's easy to resolve, but not really understandable, or yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say is the note formatting is extremely important. It's easy to perform. However, there are some best practices that we're going to learn together. What you see on my screen is a note for loans to shareholders. It's a print preview of a note. What we note here, let me switch on my pointer. We are on a new page. It says loans to shareholder continued. It's talking about credit losses. We've got here a table, our year-end here, and more information. As a user, what we would like to do is only keep those 2023, but then remove that top header 2023, 2022. Instead of having it on the top of the page, we would like it to sit here where it says rand amount. We want the year headings to be sitting here. Usually what would happen is a supervisor has reviewed your financial statement that you've printed or used your PDF option, and they ask you, okay, Sandrine, I'd like you to remove that year header, insert it in the bottom instead, just before the rand amount. How do we do that? I'm going to explain and then we do it together. Sorry. The step number one would be first to click on the section header. My section header is that name, credit losses. So if I go back here, that's the section header. So the step number one would be to click on that section header. Then you right click and select set header for this note. You've got three options: the year header, the text header, or the other column header. By default, everything will be under the year header. This is what is pulling those top year headings on the top of your page. What we want is to remove it, so we're going to select the text header option. And when you select the text header option, remember we are in editing mode. If you print preview now, you'll see, we'll do that together, your year headings on the top will disappear. The same principle will apply. If you want the year headings to appear and it's not appearing, you right click and then you select, instead of text, you will select the year. So let's do that together. Let's select the text header instead of your year header for your credit losses allowance. So I'm going to move to my financial statements. Remember, how to jump to the different sections. I want to go to the note number 4, which is loans to shareholders. I can either select my BS, my balance sheet, and then look for the loans line item, and then we can easily jump to that note. That's not the one I'm looking for. Let me see quickly. Oh, that's it. That's the one I'm looking for. So when you are on your loans note, if you scroll down a little bit, go to your credit losses allowance. You can place your cursor there. I'll just give you a few seconds to locate that note. I'm quickly looking at the different questions that we have. And then Ruth, I've received your different questions. I'll make sure that I attend it. Please do give me until end of this session because it's a little bit not really what we're talking now, but we'll definitely come back to you on that. Thank you for your questions. Right, I hope that you've all been able to locate your credit losses, the credit loss allowances note section. What we want to do here is, first of all, you click on the note header, very important. Then right click over the note header or the section header, select the set header for this note. It's currently year header. And you've seen on my other screen, when it's on your header, you don't need to print preview, but that's what you'll see if ever you print preview. The year headings are appearing on the top. We want to remove it, so we select set header for this note, and we're going to select text header. If I print preview now, on your print previewing, you should now have the top part here doesn't have any more the year headings. Now remember, the next step, as per our supervisor, he asked us to remove that heading on the top, but we have to insert it down here next to US dollar amount, just after exposure to credit risk. So they want the year headings here. The step number 1 will be to escape the print previewing. We have to go back to the editing enable. Let's locate the exposure to credit risk. That's the US dollar amount that we want to use. So we're going to place our cursor on that note or that section header. That's the best practice always. When you want to perform something, make sure that you select the line item or to which you want to perform a particular item. Let me jump to my presentation to explain first, and then we do it together. So now that we've removed the year heading, we're requested to add the year headings within the note itself. Step number 1 will be to select, here it says rand amount, on my side is USD, that's 100%. select that header. Then you will go to your super insert button on the top of the screen, that little white plus button on a green circle. And then we will select heading. We will then get this heading dialog box where you've got two different options. You've got your heading financial or your heading standard. Recommended best practice will be to select the standard one. So when you select the radio button, your heading standard, you can preview the contents. So that's basically what we want. That's exactly what my manager is asking me to insert in my note just above my rand amounts. The preview contents will be the bottom part of that screen, and you're going to press on OK to confirm that you're happy with that suggestion. Now, a quick reminder, we've talked about that in all our sessions. You will get an executing script on your financial statements. It will take 20 seconds. Please allow the executing script to be completed before you close anything or you full shut down. That's extremely important because the end result is going to be very beautiful. It's going to pick up all your formatting and ensure that the results will appear as consistently across your file. Now, what you see on my screen is the year headings that has been added just above my rand amounts. And if we print preview, that's the beauty that my supervisor has asked me. He asked me to remove the top year headings and bring it down just above the rand amounts. Let's do an example together. I'm going to jump back to my case view. I'm just going to give you 1 minute to jump back to your case view. Sorry. Whilst I look at the different questions, if I can answer the questions right now, I'll do it. Alternatively, I'll bulk it for after the session or in the question time session. Hello, Jabulu. Thank you for your question. We will cover that total row options in today's session, I believe. So let me quickly check this out, but I'll definitely answer your question. Rohan, thank you as well for your question. That's an Audi International question, but I'll definitely come back to you after this webinar. I'll send an email to you. All right, guys, I'm hoping that you're all on your financial statements. We're about to insert a year heading above the US dollar. Remember, recommended best practice is to select the title or the section that you want to modify. Then, top left of your screen, you have your super insert button. Select the drop down next to the super insert. You've got different options or different items you can insert. What we want to locate is that heading. Select the heading. And remember, it is going to open the additional content dialog box. You've got different headers available. If I want to preview a header before inserting on Caseware Financials, I can simply select the title. It will give me in a few moments a preview of the item I selected. Right, is it what you're looking for? That's the preview of the content. You've got your different years, and it's nicely indented already. So if you're happy with that, we're not going to select OK right now. We need to select the radio button next to the content that we want to add. If you don't do that and you select OK, the year heading will never appear. Select the header, press on OK. Give it a few moments. Remember, it is going to execute script bottom left of your screen. So give it a few moments to insert your year headings. All right, here we go. So let me go back here. Just give it a few more moments. And this is the year headings that have been added. Just above my US dollar amount. If you press on preview or F4 on your keyboard, because we want to see what we've done before submitting the file to your supervisor, we want to make sure that we have addressed what he requested. So he requested us to remove the year headings on the top. That's done, 100%. Then bottom of this particular note, he wanted us to add some year headings in that note. If you need some space between the paragraph here and the line, you can add, for example, a text section and then simply switch it on. So let's do that together. So what we want to do, let me repeat, we want to add some space between the paragraph ending at the reporting date here with the end at the reporting date and a space just before that particular line. We close the print preview first. Then, once again, remember best practice, you have to click on the area where you want to edit or to add content or to modify. I can use the add insert line option. I really like that option. So when you click on the insert line, like you see on my screen, it will add an additional paragraph. It says additional text here. So I don't need that additional text to print. I just need some space. So I'm just going to remove it. Alternatively, you could have also used your super inserts and inserted a paragraph text below to where your cursor was. But again, we want you to go faster. You can use that insert line option. And now if I print preview, this is what it will look like. That's the space that we wanted to add. I'm now going to jump quickly to the different questions. I see some questions applicable to this section. Let me close my preview. We've got a nice question from Bandile, who's asking, how do you hide the line? So Bandile, I'm interpreting the line being that those lines on your next to your year headings. For that, this is the option of the long lines. So in the first part, was it this? No, it was the second session of financial statements. We decided to switch on long lines. So to remove, you go to options, lines, and you deselect the long line option. Remember, it's gonna be applied consistently throughout your FS. Okay, that one has not gone, so the long line will be your total. We try something else here. If it's not working, we can try. So I'm going to deselect the header lines. I went into auto mode here, so please bear with me. And that's a question I just got. So I did document configuration header. I want to remove those lines. I'm going to deselect header line and press on OK. It's currently executing script, so let's give it a few moments. So the lines are gone now, Bandile. So it's hidden, it's appearing in blue. And when I print preview, once again, it's about consistency. So it's gonna remove it across your file. So it's gonna remove those lines. Okay. Thank you for that question, Wendile. I'm moving to a second question, which I think is applicable for this session and is also relevant. A question from Charles. What if you want to put the year header to your whole document? So Charles, by default, so I'm going to now activate my document map to jump to my notes to the financial statements to the top. By default, your year header is applicable to your whole document. That will be the default format. So it's going to appear everywhere. Now, if it is not appearing on your side, you have to then go through different checks. For instance, you might want to check that if I select, for example, quickly going to select my notes to the FS, making sure if you right click over notes to the FS to the top of the notes section, right click, set header for this note, make sure that it's year header. This is going to ensure that you've got all the year headings across your whole document. Okay. Hope that is going to answer your questions, Charles, and also for Bandile. I'm going to move to another question which I think is also relevant for us all. The next question is from Jason. Can we use the Shift and Enter keys to add a line? So let me go back to the area that I was on. What was it already? So let me go back to balance sheet. We were actually on the loans note where I suggested that you use the insert line option to add quickly a line. So, Jason, you could use the Shift Enter to add a particular space. That's emergency, if I can call it like that, action. Okay. I would not recommend to do that across your financial statements, because in the background, what's happening, it cannot, the software is not detecting that it's a separate paragraph. So when you do the shift enter, it's as if it's a continuity of this particular paragraph, the net carrying amounts, etc. Okay. On the other hand, when you use the insert line or super insert, it really makes sure that it's two separate paragraphs, and it appears very nicely when you print or when you have that paragraph is moving to another page. It is going to be very nice. The shift enter, I recommend it only when, let's say, for example, if I go to balance sheet and we go to the narration area, if I want some space between my narration area and that last line, then I can use a bit of shift enter. And here as well, some shift enter. That's the only region where I recommend to use it. You're welcome, Jason. Yeah, it's not recommended practice. I'm not going to say it's a bad practice, but it's not recommended. All right. We've got 1 more minute, guys, before a very short 10 minutes break, body break. I'd like to repeat the moving of the dates to this section. That's a question from Christine. Thank you for that question. So Christine, to have your year headings bottom of your screen. So remember the step number 1. I think I'm tempted to show you the slides. That is going to be better for you to understand. Okay, let me start from that point. Your manager or our manager has asked us to remove those year headings from the top and move it down bottom of the screen. So what we did first is we right-clicked over credit losses and we selected year header. Remember, we want to remove those top here. So first you stand on the note credit losses allowance, because that's the first section line that you see, or the section header that you see on the page. So you stand on that section header, then you select, right click, set header for this note, text header. What will happen? It will then remove the top header. The next item that you want to do is add, just before the rand amount, your year headings just above 134. So what we do is first we will stand on the rand amount. Very important to click on the item that you want to modify. Then you will go to your super insert, that plus button top left of your screen on the freeze. It's in a green button. You can't miss it. It looks like an emergency button on my side. But anyway, you click on the heading, the loss option. This will then prompt you to select a particular content. So you need to click on the radio button, year headings. For here, I'm selecting year heading standard. It will give you a preview of the content. Is it really what you want to insert? And if you're happy with that, you can then press on OK. It is going to execute script. And that's the beauty, that you're going to get the year headings just above your rand amount. And that's the end result. I hope that's clear for you, Christine. But again, if you are still struggling, please do let me know. I will then connect further with you. Guys, it's 2 minutes past the hour. Let's take a 10 minutes break. And when we are back, we're going to continue with content management on your Caseware working paper. Enjoy that very nice short coffee break. See you just now. Welcome back, everybody, to that very short break. I hope that you've been able to grab a cup of coffee or some water. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. If you've got some team members who are still going, grabbing a cup of tea or coffee, please let them know that we're starting in less than 30 seconds. All right, so welcome back, everybody. We're busy with content management on financial statements in Caseware. We're now going to understand how to add your page break. Can seem very easy, but we've got some best practices of when we need to add or how do we add a page break. The step number one to add a page break, as usual, as the best practices, will be to always turn on the note name or the section name. That's crucial. And in this example where you see the red arrow is to insert the page break on the top of our leases here. So to insert the page break, first you click on the note header or the note name or the section name or the any section that you need. Then you right click to open your right clicking menu and then select your page break. What will happen will be your page break line will appear in your editing enabled mode, hence allowing you to understand if the page break has been inserted. The same process will need to be done if you need to remove the page break. So you're going to stand on the section, then right click and then deselect the page break. Okay, so let me do that with you. Let's look for a note. So let's stay on. I'm not going to ask you to scroll further to any other section. Stand on your exposure to currency risk. We would like to insert a page break just above. Select the exposure, the note header or the subheading. Right click, and then the second option that you have is the page break. Let's select the page break, and in your print, in your editing enable mode, you should see the page break appearing on the top. Remember, if you need to remove that page break, you'll do the same step the other way around. Right click and deselect page break. I'm pausing a little bit just to give you time to do that on your own. Switch on and switch off before we move to the other section. Okay. Don't see any questions around this. Let's now move to the next part. The next part will be to, for example, to change the print the printing of the page, for example, from portrait to landscape or vice versa. This will be done by right-clicking once again on your section, on your node heading or subheading, then right-click, select the print option in the middle of your right-clicking menu, and select either portrait or landscape. So we are going to perform that as well. Let's do that together on that exposure to credit risk. I'm going to jump to my other screen, to my financial statement. So if you right click over the node header, the middle of your right clicking menu, the print, select portrait or landscape. Right, now that you know how to change a different portrait landscape, you can then easily update or manage the content of your financial statement. If it's not fitting correctly, you like to change the format, change the portrait from portrait to landscape, this can be easily done. Now, moving to the next part, once again, a very common support case that we have is the managing of blank spaces or blank pages. In this example that you see on my screen, we've got the note finance cost, and just beneath that note, we've got some blank space that we want to remove. That blank space that says anything. It's just a blank page just above the end of our page. We'll do the example together. I'm going to explain how this is done, and then we can do it together. So in this example, the objective is to remove that blank space and move that note taxation, which is appearing on page 21. We want to move it down underneath note 15. And to do that, we will use the keep together option to manage those blank spaces. So if you stand on taxation, for example, right click and take note whether your keep together is selected. We'll do that together. What does it mean, the keep together? It simply indicates or mean that the note taxation with all the different subsections should always stay together when printing. It should appear like a block. It should not be separated. If you deselect the keep together, what it means is a page break can be inserted anywhere between the different sections if required. So if we deselect the page break, the keep together, what will happen? Note 16 will then move to page 20. And what has happened, the node which was previously in a block like this. So if I jump back to my previous slide with the major components of tax, the reconciliation and everything, it will then cut the node. It will then allow the node to have a page break in between. It's no more keep together. Let's do that example and it will be really nice to do that with you. We can preview first how it's appearing, and then we're going to reduce those blank pages or space. I'm going to escape, and let's locate our finance cost note. So I trust that now you know how to jump faster to your different sections. I will go to my income statement in that case because I want to jump to my finance costs. Going to look for finance cost here. That's the note 19 on my side. So giving you a little bit of time to jump to the note 19, finance costs. You can also use your document map on the left of your screen to jump to the notes. Then if you have a look at my screen, I'm going to print preview to understand what's happening with that particular note. I'm hoping it's going to be the same as, no, it's not. No, it's printing nicely here. But let me still show you this option. It's printing nicely on my side. I don't know on your side, but let me show you the keep together option. So if we had our taxation note not pooling on the previous page, then what you would do is right click and then deselect the keep together. That's on your right clicking menu. A little bit in the middle, you've got the keep together selected. To deselect, what it means is if there is not enough space, or if there is enough space on another page, on the previous page, your taxation note can be broken, nicely broken, between the different sections to be included on previous page. Rest assured, your note will not be cut in between the different paragraphs or within a paragraph or within a table. It will keep nicely your table. If it fits on the previous page, it will then move it to the previous page. So that's the keep together option. The same will apply in the event you don't want a note to be broken. You want to keep it as a bulk on one page. You will then right click over the note title or note header, then you select the keep together. You can also go granular on the keep together for the different sections if ever you want it to be broken further. Giving you 2 minutes if you're practicing on your side. I'm also checking out on the questions. If you have any questions related to that section. I remind you, please feel free to use the chat box if you have any questions. So Therese, I see your question, which is that you can't see your keep together function. It's not active on the section, meaning when you right click, you can't see the keep together option. Is that correct? Just let me know if that is what you mean, and also which template you're using. Is it the full IFRS template or your IFRS for SME? And I'm hoping as well that you are on editing enable view. I'll wait for your answer, Therese. And whilst you're answering, I will move to the next part of this presentation, which is inserting notes, inserting sections on your financial statements. So some important items to note is very important. I think I've mentioned it a lot of time, I've said important quite a lot, is to always stand on the note name before or after which you want to insert the note. This is also applicable to any other component. This is what we've done so far. Always click on or stand on the section area where we want to do a modification. So I also want to highlight that your balance sheet amounts are pulling from all your different notes, and activating your notes are also very important for XBRL filing. That's applicable for our South African clients using our templates. To insert a note, you've got different options to insert a note. The option number one will be the optimize, and that's the initial screen or window that you'll see when you for the first time you open your financial statements. That's the optimize window, with the top part being your accounting policies and bottom part your notes. What is on the left of that window will be not in the file because it didn't detect a mapping, an account, something mapped for that line item. And whatever is on the right of the screen will be all those accounting policies and notes that have been added to your file. These have been added based on your mapping. Now you can get back this optimized window. I really like it because it's summarizing all the accounting policies, all the notes, whether inserted or not within your file. And the beauty here, you don't need to scroll throughout your full FS to see whether something has not been activated. You can activate your optimized screen. To activate that window, let me quickly go to my case view document. You can select the optimize button on your freeze. That's the last button. And next to your XBRL, the optimize button. And this is the accounting policies not in the file, notes not in the file. You can now decide to bring in any items that you need in your file or remove any unused contents from your file. Let's say, for example, earlier you have activated biological asset. Now you want to remove it. Instead of right-clicking, turn it off, you can simply come back here and remove the biological asset. Remember to also remove the accounting policies if not applicable. Also remember, you cannot remove a note that has a balance. For instance, if I look at intangible asset, or let's say, let me have a look at that loans rather. It says this note has a balance, therefore cannot be removed. Even if you try to remove it, it will not go because it has a balance. Hey, Therese, thank you for checking that. You are in editing enable mode. That's 100%. Anton, thank you for a question, comment from Anton around the keep together. You're not available in accounting policies. You have to insert your page breaks. Okay, so that's the first option, how you can switch on or insert easily a note on your financial statements. I'm going to cancel that screen and go back to the inserting note option. The second option that you have to insert a note will be the super insert. Remember that little plus button, that's going to be your best friend on financial statements, because this option, super insert, help you to insert new notes, new accounting policies, text sections, paragraphs, table, page break, blank page, headings, just name it. So to insert a note, for example, first remember you have to stand on a note area in the note sections. Then select super insert note, and you have two options: to insert the note position above to the current note that you've clicked on, or below to the current note that your cursor is currently on. And when you add a particular note, that's what will appear on your screen. If you should follow my cursor on my screen here, it says additional note. It is going to appear, the heading, rather, the note header is going to be in a yellow cell, meaning that it is editable. So you can edit the note. You can obviously see that your note numbering has also been automatically inserted. And the nice news here is your note number, let's say for taxation, has moved from 16 to 17. And in any section referring to taxation, it will now be 17. Okay. Looking here at the super insert option, just once again, the best practice is always to stand on the note before after which you want to insert the text. So, oh, that's the text section, 100%. Now that we have added a note, we want to add a text to it. So you stand on the note and you use the super insert and you can insert the text. Now, because we are standing on the note 16 on my screen, if you should see the cursor here, we want to insert the text within that note 16. So by standing here, the below option is most suitable because we want to add the text bottom of the screen. By selecting a text section, it means that we are going to insert 3 paragraphs. On the other hand, if I select the paragraph option, that will be 1 paragraph that will be inserted. We'll do an example together, guys. Don't worry about that. We'll go step by step together. Because I've selected super insert text section normal below, that's what we are going to see. Our note, our text section is going to appear within our note 16. Please note that the text is going to appear in blue It's not yet printing. What you need is to turn it on so that it starts to print. And then obviously do any of So let's do that section together. There's two steps that we want to do together. We want to first insert the note. Then we want to insert a text section. We want to insert 3 paragraphs and turn one of them black for it to print. Righty. So I'm going to stand on my taxation because this is where I'm currently on. I'm hoping that you are also on that particular note. The objective here is for us to insert a new note. So go to Super Insert, New Note Policy. We're going to select Note. Okay. You will be prompted when you select Super Insert New Note, whether you want to add it above or below to where your cursor was. So I'm going to opt for the above and press on OK. Give it a few moments. It is going to execute script. Remember, you can start editing your financial statements as soon as bottom left of your screen, your financial statement says ready. That's our new note that has been added, note 21, additional note. So remember, it's in a yellow cell, meaning that you can double click to edit and change the name of this particular note. I'm going to change that note, go to get ahead series, just to show you how to edit. You can press on enter. When you modify a yellow cell, when you click on the cell, you can either double click on it to modify, or on the top of your screen, you've got a formula bar where you can also perform your modification. I really like that option because you have a longer, you can really see what you're typing here. Step number 2 will be to add 3 paragraphs. Remember, we're going to stand on the section we want to add the text section. Stand on note 21, like on my screen, it's note 21, or on your note. Then go to Super Insert, there's a drop down. We're going to select text section, a normal below. Remember, a text section will add 3 paragraphs. Below would be below, the position will be below that note 21. So that's 100%. Click on below. That's the additional text that has been added. 3 paragraphs, sorry about that. It's currently in blue. The text is in blue. It will not print. To make it in black, we're going to right click, let's say on the first paragraph, and then select the on option. It's now in black. It's now going to print. Just giving you guys a few moments to do that on your side. Now, our next objective, now that we've added a text section, we've added a note, we would like to add a table. You've got tables different types of table. So the rule number one, as usual, will be to stand on that node that needs to be modified, where you need to insert your table. Then, once again, you're going to go to your super insert, select table, bottom. We're going to do that together. I'll give you time to do that, but I'm just going to explain the process. So when you select super insert table, that's the table alternate content that will appear. You've got different types of table on your screen. The first one is a first to full column. So if I take that first example, if you place your cursor on that first line, it will give you the preview of the content. 1 to 4 column with total. It means that you've got 4 columns, like 1, 2, 3, 4 within your table that you can add in your amount with a total. So if this table is not appropriate, this is not what you're looking for, what you can do is select the correct table or correct header to preview the content up until you get to that table that you're looking for. You preview your content here, that's the 1 to 4 columns with total. Now, each table will have a different characteristic. So, for example, those 1 to 4 up to 3 to 6, this will be limited automation that will be available, but the standards one will help you. For example, if you want to link a row easily to an account number or a mapping number, then we recommend that you use the standard. What are the standard type of nodes? Table, rather. These are your typical node or table with current year, prior year, and detail. Just like that taxation node that we've seen, that loans that we've seen, you've got current year, prior year, and detail of the table. That's the standard. By using that table, you can easily add a row linked to mapping or linked to account number. I'm going to explain and then once again give you time to fill a table. If we select the 1 to 4 column, for instance, this is what is going to appear. We decided to insert the table bottom of where our cursor was. All the text in the table is going to be in blue at first, up until we start to insert values and different texts. If you want to switch off a column, you can easily deselect on the top of the screen. You can deselect a column and it will be switched off. Like I've mentioned, all the cells will appear in blue, so it's not going to print up until you add your details. And you can add the details because the cells are in blue, are in yellow. They are editable, so you can add any of the different values. So we're going to do that just now. You can also add more rows by using your super insert. Why super insert for more rows? Because you can easily add several rows at one go. So if I use super insert and then select the rows, it can be either input row or any other. You can select the number of rows. By the way, if you're asking yourself, why can't you link to map, link to account here? It's because it's not a standard table. You have to first add a standard table to get these options, linking to map or linking to account number. And I really love these options because it automates your figures that's pulling on your table. But it's also only for tables that need the current year, the prior year. Okay. And then once you've added the details, your table or the figures, your table's going to start to print. In here, we have added the type of debtors. We've added the different column headers. And it's all starting to print. I'm going to now give you 5 minutes and please try to replicate that table that's on my screen. I'm going to help you. We're going to do it together. I'm going to, on my side, it's going to go a little bit faster, but please try to update the title of your table instead of get ahead. Let's call it data analysis. Then add the text and analysis of receivable owed by trade debtors is summarized below. You can add that line. And then please type in your values. Try to add your table. Try to add the rows. 5 minutes from now, and then I'll check out on you. Whilst you guys are doing your table, please use that session to do if you're struggling and let me know. I'll go through the questions. For some questions that I can answer now, I'll do it, or alternatively, we'll come back to you. Thank you all. 8 minutes now. No, not 8 minutes, 3 minutes. 1 more minute left to replicate that table. All right, so let me help you easily replicate that table that you see on my screen. I'm going to jump to my financial statement. Here we go. So first of all, we want to call this note 21 that is age analysis. Then the text that we want, oops, it's debtors. Correct that one. Then we want to add a text which says an analysis of receivables owed by trade debtors is summarized below. And remember, we want to add a table, so I'm going to use super insert table button. I've placed my cursor just after the below text. I will select the radio button for the table 1 to 4 column. So remember, very important for you to select the radio button to be able to preview. Okay, so that's the preview content. If we're happy, we can then press on OK. It's going to execute script, bottom left of the screen. And remember, the table is currently in blue. It's not printing at the moment up until we start to add items. The next step I'd like us to do is to add a row. So I could use the super insert table rows. I could use the insert line option, which I really love, works very well, or right click row, insert row. So you've got different ways to insert different items on your financial statement. I've used the right-clicking option to add one row, and we've got 2 rows here. I'm going to start by typing my heading, which is type of debtors. My column heading, the first one will be 90 days. As you notice, it's still appearing in blue. It's looking for values that should pull. 90 days, then we go to 60 days plus. I'm going to continue 30 days plus. current period. Then on the first row, I'm going to call that local debtors and start typing my values, 208,560 for 90 days plus, 106,600 for 60 days, 330,390 for 30 days plus, and for the current year, that's my balance, 230. Last will be my foreign debtors. We don't have anything putting under 90 days. Let's start writing the figures for 60 days first. 200,750, 150,000, 328, and 125,900. And that's the table printing. Now at this stage, what you can do, just a quick reminder, you can deselect a column if you don't want it to print, like if you don't want the total column to print. If you need, for example, to change the column type, you want an alphanumeric to be able to type more information, it can be name, it can be anything, then you select alphanumeric. If you need percentage, you will then select percentage and same for dates. If you need to adjust the column width, if you want to widen a column, you can then set the column width, right click over the column, set the column width, and then you can change your width to your required width. Oh, I see some questions here. I think I've answered your question, Anton, around the widening of the columns. Yusuf, you'd like us to explain insert of text from external source. Yes, you can insert text from an external source, let's say from a Word document. So let's say, for example, I open a Word. I'd like to copy. I'm just going to write something best practice. Always then on the note name before or after which you need to insert the text or table. Okay, so I would like Yusuf in that example to copy that text and bring it to your Caseware financials. So first of all, best practice is to turn the text on before you paste. What I also like to do is you can remove the text here and then either Control V the issue with the Control V will be it will pick up your formatting from your Word or your Excel. So what I like to do, I'm going to remove it. I'm just going to Control Z to remove it. What I actually like to do is go to my Home tab, then you go to Paste. I like to use the Paste special and tell the software, okay, paste it as unformatted text so that it's appearance. And as you've seen, it goes very fast. It goes faster than just Control V by using the Home Paste special unformatted text. So to answer your question, yes, you can copy from an external source, from an Excel, from a Word, from a PDF, paste it onto Caseware. So Kadisha, you've got a little challenge on your side. You have added the rows just after I turn the page on so I can type. The notes on the FS has disappeared. Even the notes number on the statements are no longer there. So in that case, Kadisha, I'm going to ask you to close your case view, then try to reopen it and jump to the note and let me know if you're still having that particular challenge. I see some other questions. I didn't forget you guys. There's Anna, Ruth, Jabulo, Edgar. I've seen your different questions. I've paused it because we're not covering it right now, but I'll definitely connect with you. Guys, it's 5 minutes past the hour. I would like us to take a 10-minute break, just a comfort break, and you can quickly catch up if you have to catch up on your email, and then we can connect in 10 minutes sharp. So talk to you just now. Welcome back, everybody, to that 10-minute break. And the next section will be, we're going to explore more formatting tools from the director's report. We've got several different types of reports available in your financial statements. We're going to explore how you can change and modify or edit your different reports. We start with the renaming of a paragraph. So you can rename a paragraph by, first of all, or a subheader or subheading rather. You can right click, then select the properties, and this will open your properties menu. And under the other option, like you can see on my screen, description other, this is the line properties. You can modify the name of your particular paragraph. And once again, guys, these, whatever I'm explaining, is applicable to all the reports that you have within your financial statements. The other option that you can do, the other item that you can do to modify the content of your reports will be to add your paragraphs. We've seen earlier that you can use super insert to add additional paragraphs. Alternatively, the option one, let's start with option one rather. It will be to switch on the additional texts that we've already inserted in the different sections of your report. These text sections have been added to help you go faster. You simply switch it on, modify the text if required. That's the first option. Remember, for it to print, it has to be in black. So you have to right click and turn it on. The other option to add additional paragraph will be, and that's the option I was referring to earlier, will be to use your super insert. However, in your report, you also have the option to copy the current paragraph. So instead of inserting a blank additional text section, you might want to copy the current paragraph because you don't want to change whatever is in your caseware. You want to modify that paragraph at the same time keeping the caseware information or details. Then copy current paragraph. Remember, on the other hand, to switch off the previous paragraph so that you don't have the double of the information. Please as well note, I will not illustrate that, but with the super insert, you can also add a text section, 3 paragraphs, or for a paragraph, a text or a bulleted text. The third option for inserting a paragraph, and that's really the one that I really love because it's just a click of a button, goes really fast, will be the use of the insert line option, which is found from your freeze. And by clicking that, it will add your additional text very, very fast. And all you need to do is modify the text copy from your Word or Excel or PDF, making sure that you paste without formatting. That's very, very important for you to remember when you paste your different items. You can also sort the different sections within your report. In this instance, if we select document sort sections, notes to the director's report, because we are on the director's report, you will get that manual section sort. We can do an example together just now. I'm just doing that presentation to help you understand where we're going. And you can then move up or down your different sections within your director's report. So let's do that together. Let's perform all these items that we've seen on our director's report. We're going to activate the paragraph, insert a paragraph, copy current paragraph as well. So moving to my financial statement, the case view document. Kindly quickly go to your director's report. So you can use on your freeze the go-to menu. You don't want to scroll up and down. So use the go-to option, then move to the director's report. And you can easily quickly jump to the report. What you see on the reports in the 2023 Caseware working paper will be to insert the report either as the default, what's currently here, or you could use the radio button. This report will be included as an image. We've covered that last time. I'm not going to go further into that, but you can select the second radio button and have your report inserted as an image. So you've got your director's report, you've scanned it as an image. This will be the icon that will appear. Remember, we did that for auditor's report, I believe. And you can add several images, double click to insert your image. Please visit our community, success.casewareafrica.com. This is your go-to that will help you to insert your image very easily and nicely. It also helps you to understand which template allow for inserting as an image. And also it's extremely detailed, showing you how to add more images, what are the different. We then had our recommendation for the maximum width and the maximum height and how to resize your picture. So I highly recommend you to click on the link to learn further around how to insert the image in the financials. This also applies to your auditor's report. Okay. I'm going to select the default report. This is what I want to explain today. And remember, we've got you covered with the additional text that we've added here. So if you want to turn and you want to add an additional paragraph, instead of going into the super insert or other option, simply turn additional text on. And remember the best practice, try not to shift enter, try to use the paragraph options. Very important. When you do the printing, it will then appear very nice. Alternatively, we've seen that you could add an additional text by using the insert line. And you know now that is my preferred option. It's extremely fast and you can turn on the line that you want to turn on. In the event, let's say I'm going to insert that, I want to copy that paragraph. So I first turn on the paragraph, then go to super insert, paragraph, copy content of paragraph. What's happening here, it has copied the content, and then maybe I can turn off the original one and start explaining what's the activity of wrap up. I'm just saying it relates to the manufacturing of biltong and biltong drying equipment. Here we go. Right. Then what else did we see? We've seen that you can also sort the different sections. So I'm looking at the sections here. I've got only 2. I'm going to switch on the share capital just for illustration purposes, how to sort. So I'd like to sort these different sections, the nature of the business, the share capital, and then if I scroll down, the secretary part. So to sort the sections, you should make sure that you stand on the page. Then we could go to document, sort section, notes to the director's report, and it will open the notes that have been switched on. And let's say I'd like to move my secretary just before my share capital, just for that example purposes. Can use the move up, move down button on the right of the screen. Then press on OK. And if we scroll down, you see now your note 2 is the secretary detail and note 3 will be your share capital. So you can basically do the sort section as well on other reports. You could either stand on the gray bar of the section and you can select the sort section. That option here allow you to see even those areas or not section headings that are not switched on. So whatever reason, if you need to sort the rest, you can also see that and sort it. Okay. I see some questions. I'm going to go through the questions now because there's quite a few questions I haven't yet answered. So, all right. So let me go through those questions I haven't covered. So there's a question from Edgar. On review of the financial statements, at times the percentage change does not pick up. How do we go about it? Edgar, can I have more context? Which percentage change are we talking about and which section exactly? That can help me in understanding your question. Thank you. Enart is asking about the certificate for the last 2 trainings. So I'm going to ask marketing to connect with you in that sense. Hassan, yes, the video is being recorded. It will be made available to you after the training. Please give our marketing team some time. It should be available early next week. Okay, another question. I'm moving from the last to the previous, so guys, do bear with me if I'm not yet covered yours. Another question from Edgar regarding the statement of cash flows. Is it possible to know where Caseware draws the cash receipts from customers and cash paid to suppliers and employees? Cash flow from operating activities section. So Edgar, let's cover that. It's very important that we engage with you. I've asked you to answer questions. So let's go to the cash flow. On my side, if I look at my cash flows currently it's currently picking the indirect method. I'll change it to direct method. So I'm going to press on first my cash flow. Then select settings and format, that green cartwheel, and jump back to my direct cash flow statements. Right. Now, your question is, is it possible to know where Caseware draws the cash receipts from the client? So you have to jump to your cash flow worksheet first. So I'm going to scroll up and let's jump to the cash flow worksheet. I'm asking you to do that because when I right-clicked over cash receipt from customers, it didn't give me the option to drill down lead sheet or drill down child balance, right? It gave me the option to jump to my cash flow worksheet. So let's follow the instruction. I just want to redo that to show you. So when I right-click over cash receipts from customers, I don't have the option to drill down to child balance here. It gave me the option to jump to cash flow worksheet. So let's see on our worksheet and let's go to our cash flow from operating activities. And here we go. Whatever you've mapped on your Caseware working paper mapping window, that's what will help to do that computation. So for example, the default cash received from customers will be your full revenue figure. If you right click over that, go to trial balance, drill down, it will give you exactly what has been mapped to your revenue line item. And you can go like this and understand what are the different payments that have been done and how it calculated your different values. So if I go back here, just once again, make sure we're aligned. Cash receipts from customer, 107 million. So that was obtained. If I scroll down further, that 107 million is obtained by all those items under default cash received from customers. So you have to go through that column. You can even right-click, drill down, and you will get to the composition. If there is anything that you need to reallocate or reclassify, you can do that by either using the options that you have in Caseware for remapping or using those yellow cells here. But please, Edgar, rest assured we have prepared this session, cash flow session, in our next webinar, and we'll dive further into that. I hope that helped. So I'm going to move to the next question. I'm just conscious of time. Rebecca, thank you for your question. You're asking what is a pillar tax. So for that one, we do not cover it here. So I'll connect with you after the session. For just a quick reminder to Rohan and Harsh, I'll connect with you after the session. Your questions are mainly based for Audit International. In your case, it can be the issue will be maybe in your tailored template. So I have to go further into your questions. We've got a question from Olaya. Thank you for your question, Olaya. The question is, does Caseware has tools for computation of credit loss allowances in line with IFRS ECL model, especially for bank loans and advances? No, the answer to that question is no. You have to have your computation sheet for that one. Moving up to the different questions. Okay, I've answered that question. So there's a question from Jabulo in respect of a total row in the notes to the IFRS. That is, okay, the question is, how do you include a total row in the notes to the financial statements? That is, you want to total up the amounts in a note. So for that, Jabulo, we've got different options. Just quickly reiterating the question here, I'm going to jump to a particular note. That's not a good example. Okay, so there are different ways that we can adjust that, Jabulo. So first of all, to add a total row in a note, first of all, your table that you've inserted, if you've inserted it correctly, should already provide you with that option. Alternatively, you can always check the properties of your table. So I'm currently on my trade and other receivables. You can see here you've got a total. If you right click on any table that you have on financial statements, you go to properties. On the top of your properties menu, you've got a section properties. It says display options for table totals. There's a show, there's a hide, there's single underline. Maybe in your case, I haven't seen your file, maybe it's hidden. Then select the radio button show, press on OK, and you should get the total row. Hope that you are happy with that. You can add me, you can give me more information. Right, moving to the next question that we have from Ruth. So you want to understand an area where cash flow is out of balance and the total cash equivalent by the total cash equivalent. Okay, for that, Ruth, I have to look at the file to understand exactly what's the issue there, but you definitely need to reconcile it. Use your cash flow worksheet. It will indicate to you where you have unbalanced line items. Another question from Anna. How do you link a line item in the balance sheet to a note number? For example, borrowings should be linked to two note numbers. So for that one, Anna, let's jump to the balance sheet. So the question here is, how do you link a line item in the balance sheet to note numbers? The default in your file will be already linked. However, if I go to, let's say, borrowings, like you said, I go to the current, okay, let's go for that one. Sorry, oops, going fast here. Okay, loan from to shareholders. So I'd like to modify the note reference here. So to add another one, right click and then you can select modify note references. It will help you to see all the different note numbers available on your Caseware, on your financial statements. How to read that window. So let me repeat that again. Maybe I went a bit fast, eh? So the request from Anna is to link a line item to a note number or to more than one note number. So first of all, you right click on that line item. You've got the option on your right clicking menu to modify the note references. Then you will have a list of all the available notes, whether it is switched on or not. So the ACP will be your accounting policies. And if it is switched on, you will see the number next to it, the note number next to it. So if I scroll down, let's go to the notes. Let's say I'd like to add that custom section. That is age analysis. Doesn't make any sense, but let's say we have added that note earlier today. I need to insert it. I can select it. Because the note is switched on, I can see the note number. It says 21 here. It helps me understand whether this is exactly what I want. Then press on OK. And now we have both the note numbers. Of course, to remove, you'll do the same thing. Right-click, modify note references, and then deselect the note number that should be removed. I hope, Anna, I resolved your issue. All right. Adedoyin, thank you for your question. Your question referred to optimizer checklist, which is the Audit International section. So I'll come back to you on that. I'll answer separately. There's another question from Jabulo. What do you do when a page reference does not reference all pages relating to what is being referred to? For example, if it's being referred to page 10 to 12, but Caseware only references page 10 to 11. So usually in that case, Jabulo, I'm going to see if I can assist you on that one right now. Okay, now you need support for that. I can't show it now because it's gonna confuse everybody. It's a little bit, it's not that complex, but needs a little bit more advanced knowledge. So I promise you, we'll come back to you on that. It's quite easy to do. Oh, so release. Thank you for your question. So you have a question which is, how do you remove a duplicate page number on the bottom of the page? The page number reflects twice on the same page. That's an interesting one. So what I would suggest as an immediate action release will be to make sure that your print profile is external draft. Or you can also go to edit profiles and make sure on your profile the page settings or the page number is nicely footer. If this is still not working, please log a case with us. We'll definitely help you on that. This is also something straight to resolve. Guys, I'm loving your questions. They are excellent. Right. So I hope, Kagisha, on your side, you've been able to sort out your items that have disappeared, that you can now see your table very nicely. That was a fantastic session. You guys have been really interactive, and I thank you for that. I'd like you to participate next to our survey. So I'm going to share in the chat box a little survey. I do encourage you to answer our survey. Let me see if I can add it into the chat box. Okay, here we go. Whoops. Just bear with me a few seconds. I'm just gonna copy and paste it. Okay, guys, I've sent you our survey. Please do finish the survey. We read every single of your response and make sure that we, do apply or rectify what you have mentioned in your survey. And it's really, really important for us to address that survey. Okay, so let me give you 5 minutes to complete the survey. And then please stay online. We've got a surprise coming next. Oh, Isanda, you can't see the survey. It's in the chat box. So on my side, it's on the right hand side of my screen. I've got a chat area. Says gives me the option to chat with you all. So let me see if I can share it with you. Guys, please stay online if you want to have a little surprise. We are going to have a little surprise for you. I've shared with you the survey. Okay, alrighty, Karabo, I'm sending it to you right now. Zulu, alrighty, I'll make sure that we investigate with your account manager while you don't have access to your templates. You're welcome. Guys, giving you 2 more minutes to fill in the survey and then we move to the surprise. Is it, Ruth? So let me send it to you again. Send to you all the survey. Hope that you've received it. Okay. So Morgan, I'm going to send it to you. Oh, all right. You can't see the survey, guys. Do let me know if you can't see it, but I'm trying to send it to you. So whilst you are having access to whilst you're filling in the survey, all right, thank you, Ruth. I'm gonna quickly go back to my screen to answer the question from Anton, who wants us to repeat how to add the note on the balance sheet again. All right. So Anton, to add a note, for example, to your balance sheet, I'm going to jump to the balance sheet and move to the, let's say, that's not a nice example. Let's go to the trade and other receivable. We'd like to add the debtors age analysis note number to that line item. So first you right click, modify note references. It is going to open your add new note or remove note numbers. And what you need to do is scroll through, and I actually like to look at the note numbers that will appear. And because it's a section, it's a note that we created ourselves. It's going to be called custom section. And simply select that section, note number 21 in my case, and then press on OK. What will happen? It will add the note 21 next to the note 7. Hope that's fine with you, that I didn't go too fast. Hey, alrighty guys, thank you. So please do continue if you are filling in the feedback survey, please do so. I'm now going to move in the next minute to a question. And the correct answer, the first correct answer, I highly encourage you to participate. The gift is super nice. You shall receive it with our marketing team. So I'm going to ask a question, same drill as last week. Answer, type your message, answer in the chat box with the right answer. Okay, you guys ready? That's the gift time. So the question is, what is the recommended best practice when you need to insert a note, a text, a paragraph, or a table? The correct answer should contain the action required. So I want the full step. What's the recommended best practice? What's that action required if you need to insert a text, a note, a paragraph, or a table? You're gonna receive a gift from us next week. You can type your answer in the chat box. I can see some answers filling. Wow. some good questions, answers. Most of them are the correct one. Got some little stuff missing, some answers. But I think we've got one winner. I'll definitely make sure that we have our expert teams looking at their answers, and we will have the winner announced on our LinkedIn page today itself. So please do stay connected. We'll announce the winner on our LinkedIn page. Thank you so much, everybody, for that participation. I'm going to close the gift down now. We've got all your answers. What is next? What can you expect from us? Will definitely be the recording next week, and we'll inform you around your certificates. In respect of the webinars, tomorrow we're going to cover cash and cash equivalent for Probe Audit and Audit International. For those who have asked questions around Audit International, I'm going to make sure to answer you today before the session of tomorrow. On the 15th of March, we're going to cover general expenses, the auditing of general expenses from a Probe Audit and Audit International template perspective. We are meeting again on the 4th of April 2024, where we're going to see how to balance a note, balancing your cash flow and related party notes. All your questions relating to cash flow will be answered on that particular platform. And then on the 5th of April, we're going to cover auditing of employee costs for both Probe Audit and Audit International. Yes, and I'm just looking at the different questions. We've got a little question from Jorani. You don't have a related question of today, but you want to ask a question, please do so. That session is made for you, and I'll definitely come back to you with an answer. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go through the remaining of the questions, but thank you so much for your time. Have a productive day. Looking forward to be with you tomorrow for Audit International, the cash and cash equivalent audits. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.